Hey, church, look, we're living in perilous times here. That's what it says in the Bible. Um, if we could only, if we could only understand that in these perilous times, this is when our culture's the darkest, is when the light shines the brightest and is most relevant, that draws people to the cross. Jesus, in John chapter 1 says, I am the light of men. So the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness can't comprehend it or overcome it. So, here in broad daylight, if I had a flashlight to shine on the ground, you could barely see it. But if it was dark, if it was nighttime, it would light up this whole parking lot, right? The darker it is, the more people can see that light shine. And it says in 2 Timothy chapter 3, but know this, hard times will come in the last days, for people will be lovers of self, lovers of money, boastful, proud, demanding, disobedient to parents, ungrateful, unholy, unloving, irreconcilable, slanders, without self-control, brutal, without love for what is good, traitors, reckless, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, holding to the form of godliness but denying its power. Avoid these people, for among you there are those whom worm their way into the household and deceiving gullible women, overwhelmed by sin and led astray by the various passions, always learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. So, in the end times, there's going to be people that speak Christianese, that speak words that seem to be godly, but they're not. There's going to be unspiritual people in the church trying to lead the church. And, we need to shine that light in the darkness, and we can't do that if we're on this continuous cycle of sin in our own lives. We got to be holy, for God is holy, right? That's what we're commanded to do, to be like Jesus, to be perfect. If we're perfect, then, sanctification is something that he's leading us to perfection in that day when we stand with Jesus in eternity. So, the Ten Commandments aren't a checklist of do's and don'ts, but they're goals for us as Christians to live the life of holiness, so that we could shine our light in the darkness. If we don't shine our light in the darkness, then the darkness just gets bold and overtakes us. And here lately, it seems like the church as a whole hasn't been standing against the darkness and shining its light. It's been fearing. We see these surrender flags out in front of churches with multiple colors. The rainbow flag. They've surrendered to sexual depravity. But we need to stand firm. We need to shod our feet with the gospel of peace and stand firm in the Word of God. Number one, so that we don't backslide into bad habits. If you got good traction in your spiritual life in the Word of God, you won't slip and fall as much, So God bless you. Have a great day, and let's get the perspective of the evil day we live in so that we can shine our light. Find creative ways to share your faith, Share what God's done in your life. Don't be a judge. Don't be a defendant. Don't be a prosecutor. Just be a witness of what God's doing in your life. So God bless you. Have a great day.